Hey yo, GOAT format players, it's Skill Brown Magician here, and I have a real life deck profile for you, and this one is Recruiter Return. So we have our starter card, Shining Angel. Of course, one of the best recruiters in the game because it's light, and it goes into a pretty good target in DD Warrior Lady. We see these in a lot of decks, and it's nice because we can float into it. Also, the fact that DD Warrior Lady banishes itself is really useful, and you'll see the spice at the end, and it's actually also part of the reason why I run double Blade Knight in this deck. I just wanted, well, first off, I'm using my real life card pool, so I don't have access to everything, but I did want access to 2 more lights in the deck, and I wanted them to be useful, so they're standalone cards where they can just deal with flip effects, and then also just being able to go up to 2,000 is really useful, and they're a good target for one of the cards I'm going to show at the end. Then we have the dark side of the recruiter package. We have triple Mystic Tomato, and then we have our last, not really a recruiter, but has the same effect where it can get us a card. And we have Sangan. So we have a total of like 7 targets already for our 2 creature swaps, which I'll show later. And then we have our monster removal in Newdoria. His effect's really nice because when he's destroyed by battle, he actually gets to target 1 monster on the field and destroy that target. So he gets to choose any monster. And then we also have Exiled Force. We're running a Cyber Jar because we have a high monster card. We have a high monster count. And we can just, you know, have so many cards, and especially with the boss monsters I'm about to show, it's good to be able to swarm the field with a bunch of, you know, monsters. We have Tribe Infecting as extra monster removal. We have Breaker, the Magical Warrior. And then we have 1 light boss monster in Zaborg. And I really like these extra boss monsters in this deck just because we're running recruiters, which float, and the chances that you're going to be able to get these 2 tribute summons off is pretty likely, just because we have, like I said, like 6 recruiters and then Sangan. So lots of fodder for Jinzo and Zaborg. We have 2 Chaos Sorcerer. So we're also playing a, we also have the classic Chaos Monsters, and then we have BLS. So we have 5 boss monsters. That's why we're running a pretty heavy light and dark engine. And yeah, I really like this monster lineup. We have a clean 20 monsters. So going into the spells, we're going to move all these cards up here just so we have space for everything. Going into the spells, we have obviously Pot, Graceful, and I have Card Destruction here. We run Card Destruction just because we do have the 5 boss monsters, but also just being able to cycle through our monsters and cycle through our lights and darks is really good in this deck. Then we have MST and Heavy Storm. We have Snatch, which is good. We have Prima. Then, like I mentioned before, the double creature swap. Super useful in this deck. I really love this card. It's so much fun to pull off. And then we have 1 copy of Nobleman of Crossout. And then we go into our traps now. And we have 10 spells, and we also have 10 traps. We have the Trinity traps. Then we have 1 copy of Phoenix Wing Windblast, just because I like to be able to have another discard outlet, and also, you know, filling our grave with lights and darks is really useful in this deck. Here are, man, this is like, well, this is one of my favorite cards in GOAT format. Ever since I first started playing, I've loved Dust Tornado because ever since I first started GOAT, you know, I was worried about back row. You know, I hate swinging into like a bunch of back row, and being able to snipe something with Dust Tornado and then set something during their end phase so that it can go off during your turn is just great. And you can go Dust Tornado to blow something up in their end phase and then set something like your Call of the Haunted or the main spice of the deck return from the different dimension. So we have, 3 of our chaos monsters, and then we have, all of our other lights and darks. And I don't know, I just really like this deck, having the clean 40, 20 monsters, 10 spells, 10 traps. Makes for a really fun deck. Not the most optimal, but this is just considering the cards that I do have available to me in person. And this deck, it's a lot of fun. I hope you guys can try it out, and I'm going to include a deck profile for Dueling Book in the description if you want to try it out online. So yeah, I just really like the monster lineup in this. I think you could switch a couple of things. You could probably switch out the Exiled Force. You could probably switch out Nidorya for something else if you want. And, you don't have to run the Jinzo and the Zaborg. I really love Zaborg to just pop their BLS because you can just tribute over one of your, recruiters because they last forever, and then you just pop one of their monsters with Zaborg. And then Jinzo to just turn off traps is really nice. And because we have recruiters, it's just really easy to play. And then we have Cyberjar, to make it even more ridiculous. So creature swap, yeah, I really like this deck. And this is actually the first deck I ever built in GOAT format. And it was just a lot of fun. And I like recruiters, I like return, and that's recruiter return. Hope you guys enjoy, and until the next one, peace, take care.